This is a special session. The reason being that this is a session where we are looking at improving and strengthening the competences and skills of the service providers who offer COVID-19 testing services. In this session, we are privileged to host a team of presenters who are very well knowledgeable in this training package. We are also privileged to have and host the Chief Executive Officer of the African Society for Laboratory Medicine, Mr. Nkobile Ndilovu, who will be our guest speaker tonight. And your presenter and moderator, my name is Mashate Silva. I'm the program manager for the CHAI United COVID-19 Response Project. I work for ASLM, and I'm very excited that today I'm part of this journey. Before we start, please allow me to introduce our presenters. Our first presenter is Miss Bennett. Miss Bennett works for the Last Mile Health. Last Mile Health is one of the partners that we work with that has been supporting ASLM in development of these materials. She is an educationist and she has vast experience in the development of these digital platforms. Our next presenter is Miss Anam Lalani. She worked with CHAI and she has been very instrumental in the development of these training materials. We have already introduced our colleague, Mr. Nkobile Ndilovu, who is the CEO of ASLM. As we start this session, we will have the opening remarks from the Chief Executive Officer. And then from his opening remarks, when we have this session fully launched, we will have the presentations from our presenters. We will start with Elizabeth, who will take us through the navigation of how this digital platform works and how it is used by the learners. Thereafter, we'll have a walkthrough by Anam, who will go into the details of exactly how the platform works. And then we follow with more discussions. We encourage you, please, to go ahead and use the chat platform to be able to send in your questions or clarifications. So at this time, please allow me to welcome the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Ndilovu. Please welcome and give your opening remarks. Thank you. Yes, Ndilovu, can go ahead, please. I go ahead and sorry, Ndilovu, are you now to talk now?
Yes, thank you so much, Silva. So I was struggling because I was waiting for you to unmute me. So thank you so much. Good afternoon and good morning, colleagues and friends. Welcome to this very important webinar session today, as we will be launching the e-learning digital platform for COVID-19 Antigen Rapid Diagnostic testing. We at ASLM and partners are very excited with this development. I would like to start by recognizing all our partners that have made this come to pass. I would like to recognize Africa CDC for their stewardship and the strategic guidance that they've always given us. I also want to recognize the Clinton Health Access Initiative, Last Mile Health, AMREF, and Affinet for their collaborative support and for having been part of this journey when we started developing these resources. It's been more than 1.5 years since COVID-19 pandemic has ravaged the globe, and the African continent has not been spared. While countries are ramping up their COVID-19 vaccination programs, we know that timely, reliable, and quality diagnostic testing remains the cornerstone to the fight against COVID-19, as it enables identification and treatment of infected persons. So the innovation of COVID-19 rapid antigen diagnostic tests that are commonly known as RDTs is important as it increases the community access to testing services, especially where the nucleic acid amplification test, what is commonly known as the NATs, like PCR, is not available. Although the antigen RDTs are easy to use, there is urgent need to ensure we have adequate numbers of healthcare service providers that are equipped with the adequate knowledge, the skills, and the competencies to be able to correctly and safely perform this testing. It's been 10 months since we launched the training package for COVID-19 antigen RDTs, and that was last year in November 2020. And we are happy to see that this training package has been well adopted across the African Union member states. However, we see that the training has still lagged behind, despite the growing availability of different types of COVID-19 antigen rapid testing kits. And this is because of a number of good reasons, but I'll just talk about one, mainly the challenge of face-to-face training in the COVID-19 environment. And this is happening across many countries. So this COVID-19 e-learning course that we are launching today, and we are very excited that we are doing this, is actually timely to address some of these challenges of physical meeting, the issues around convenience, and also increasing access to training. It will provide opportunities for healthcare workers to learn in the comfort of their places and also at convenient times. I believe this effort today, as we launch this e-learning platform, will accelerate and scale up skills and knowledge of service providers that are at the forefront of the fight in this pandemic. So this course is publicly available. It is for free. And we believe that it is going to address the training needs across the continent. So I would like to thank you all for coming to this webinar today, and would like to invite you to listen in as we walk through this digital platform. Thank you, and over to you, Silva.
Thank you so much, Ndlovu, for your welcome remarks and for those different guidance you have provided. So colleagues, like the CEO has said, this is the time that we need to accelerate our abilities to be able to train and have more people who are competent to perform COVID antigen testing. So this digital platform is handy and has come in to solve the problem of having people to be in physical spaces to be able to have knowledge and have the skills transferred. So we now welcome you to this discussion where we are having the presentation to give you the overview of this training e-learning platform for you to be able to know how it's going to be utilized, how you can advocate for it out there in your communities where you work, and be able to utilize it and encourage people to utilize it. So from my end, I'll be presenting on behalf of ASLM and the team, and then my colleague Elizabeth and Anam will join in. So please, you are welcome. And we are going to present to you this presentation, and we are going to look at the overview of the training package. We are going to have a hands-on demonstration on how the platform is structured and how one has to navigate it as a learner. And we are going to demonstrate how the different modules and interactive media we have put in place to be able to help learners learn well. Then we wrap up. And remember, we are going to have a session for questions and answers and discussions in case you need any clarifications. So in terms of this training package has 3 components. The CEO has already highlighted that we already launched part of this training package in November last year. And the first component is the overview of the training package, which was initially designed for advocacy, and it is designed for leaders and people who are responsible for stewarding the COVID-19 response. The second package that has been running since November last year, and we have nearly 10,000 people across the continent trained, was the training of trainers package. It was designed for trainers. We're giving them competencies to be able to pass on the knowledge to end users and other people on the forefront. This training package is available online, it is downloadable, and many countries have already accustomed it and adopted it to their in-country training programs. Today, now is the special day where we're having the end user training package. This end user training package is specifically designed for individual self-learning. It is hosted on the e-learning platform where anyone in the comfort of his office or place of work can download and interact with these learning materials through a phone or a smart device, any device that you have. And we feel this is going to revolutionize the transfer of knowledge and skills. And we are excited that as one goes through this training package, we have put in a system to be able to check the knowledge of the learner if he or she has been able to acquire the relevant knowledge. We will now look at more details about this training package. And in terms of the goal, we are looking forward to supporting the scale up of antigen testing across member states. And these training materials are going to be very accessible to everyone. There are 3 objectives that we are striving to achieve. The first one is emphasizing that we need to enhance quality and to strengthen competencies and then provide technical support across member states. We know that a good test result is a cornerstone of any response to any condition like COVID-19. So therefore, we feel if we fulfill these objectives, we will have attained a very good milestone in terms of response to this pandemic is concerned. In terms of the course content, this is very important for our learners and stakeholders out there. This course that is going to be online comprises of 11 modules. These 11 modules focus on the different aspects of the COVID-19 testing package. And the course is designed in a way that it has different media which are used to communicate to the learner. We have text, we have information that is in text, we have interactive media. You will be seeing demonstrations that the media used in these materials, we have videos, we have animations, we have voiceovers, and all these help a learner to learn better. Remember, this is self-learning, you are alone, but these materials have been designed that a learner is able to have all these interactions. This course, on successful completion, one will be awarded with a certificate of finishing this course. Therefore, one of the components of this training package is that there is a final assessment that a learner has to pass before is awarded a certificate. In terms of access, the digital platform has been designed in a way that it's open access to all. All you need is to have internet connectivity, and you have access to that link, and you access the training materials. We feel that it is important to support users of this platform who will be in 2 categories. There are users and learners who are going to visit the platform and use the materials for purposes of getting knowledge as well as getting certified to demonstrate that they have competences to perform the tests. But we have colleagues and stakeholders who would like to use the resources for refresher training. Therefore, this digital platform will have 2 options: for learners who would like to have certification and for learners who would like to have refresher training. And some of the learners or possibly other people just want to use the materials. So this is important and we all need to take care of that. In terms of the details, we have already said this is going to be open access and it's going to be self-enrollment. You do not need to walk to any office to apply. All you need is to self-enroll, and then you decide whether you'd like to do the course for certification or you would like to visit the platform or study for refresher training. We will shortly be showing you how to access both of these options. In terms of certification, the course is designed in a way that for all colleagues or stakeholders or partners who would like to have certification, you need to complete all the 11 modules and pass all the knowledge checks. Each module, at the end of it, there is a knowledge check and you need to pass. And the final assessment, you have to pass with a minimum score of at least 80%. This course has a window period of between 2 to 90 days. When you enroll, you have a period of up to 90 days to finish the course. If a learner has time, can finish the course within 2 days. We need to emphasize that COVID-19 Antigen Rapid Diagnostic testing is not a foolproof test. That test requires a lot of practical skills. We need to emphasize that this certification that a learner will get here will be for the theory component of this course. We encourage certified learners from this course to go to their respective countries and have practical sessions on how to perform the different testing in their countries. The reason we do this because different countries have different testing platforms, they have different testing scenarios, and therefore it's important that each learner understands how the testing is done in the country, and therefore will be required to do a practical. But the benefit with this is that you'll have saved time and you don't have to be there for a long time. The refresher trainings, in the event that one reaches midway and would now like to, for example, get certified, you just go back and pass all and attempt all the modules, and then you'll be able to pass your assessment and then be certified. So this is generally how the digital platform access and certification process will be working. And from this point, we would like to welcome my colleague, our colleague Elizabeth, to take you through how the platform is laid out and how one will have to navigate through the different components. So at this point, please welcome Elizabeth. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you. Elizabeth, you can take over from that point. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I share my screen?
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. Just want to make sure I'm grabbing the right one. So you'll notice here is the landing site. Once you register for the platform, this is what you will end up seeing, and this is where you land. The nice thing is, as you scroll down, you'll be able to find the available courses. And here are the two options that were just described. So option one is if you're looking for the certificate, you click on this button and it will, if you're not enrolled, it will ask you if you would like to enroll. Once you enroll into that training, it will automatically enroll you into all of the courses that are part of the training. And then if you wanted to just do the refresher training, then you click on the button underneath and you opt to enroll in that one, and it will enroll you in the full training package. Once you're enrolled, it will drop you into the very first course. So if I click here, I'm already enrolled. I am now in the very first course. What you'll notice as a learner is that every single one or every single module has a completion status. It will let you know exactly what you need to do to be able to complete it. And so you can click on the more details, and it will allow you to see all of the activities that you need to perform in order to complete each course. And it's very helpful to be able to double check there, and you'll be able to navigate through. All of the courses or modules are set up the exact same way. So if I click on this, you'll notice they all start with an overview, and then the rest are the different content. So here is an introduction to the training program. We will encourage you to spend most of your time using the links at the bottom. As you go through, you'll be able to see what are goals and objectives. All of the content will be in the inner pages. The rest are going to be an overview, a summary, and then a knowledge assessment. And you'll be able to see here is the basics. Here are all of the module titles and the layouts. So you're always going to have an overview. You're always going to have your topics and subtopics. There will always be a summary that includes the key takeaways, how to tie it all together, and any additional resources, followed by a knowledge check. Once you pass the knowledge check, you'll be able to go into the next course. What we suggest as well is that you, when you're navigating from one module to the next, that you use your dashboard, which is this lovely button right here. When I press on it, it's going to bring me to, here is my program list. And here are each of the modules. And you'll notice that I have to complete them in certain orders, or it will not allow me to go through. And if you look all along here, you'll be able to see that there is completion tracking. And if I click on any of these completion tracks, I will be able to see specifically how much I need, how much is completed, and then I can go to that course to pick up where I left off. So that's where we suggest you spend most of your time, is going to the different, or to stay on the dashboard. The nice thing too is if we go here and I click on continue, it's going to bring me exactly where I left off. For me, that was module 7. And this is the last time I was in the course. This is the next course that I personally have unlocked. And so it's going to bring me exactly where I left off. So every time you leave the platform, when you want to come back and continue a training, you want to click on that dashboard button, go to the program, and you want to click continue. And that will bring you back to where you left off. And with that, I will pass it over to my colleague Anam, who will go through what you can expect in each module for content.
Thank you so much,
Elizabeth. Anam, go ahead, please. Thank you.
Give me one moment to share my screen. Okay. So here, I will be walking through module 4 to demonstrate the different components of the module and the types of content that can be found within a module. So as Liz mentioned, when you click into a module, the first page will always be this module overview. Within the overview, you will walk through the learning objectives, and it also breaks down the subtopics that can be accessed in these tabs above. Here, or these can also be accessed on the side panel here, or like Liz said, there's also access through these buttons at the bottom, and this will probably be the main way to navigate through the different subtopics of the module. So once you click into a specific subtopic, for example, 4.3, there are different pages. So within each subtopic, all of the pages just break down the information of the subtopic into more digestible units so that learners can more easily navigate the different concepts that are within the subtopic. Within a page, if we go to 4.4, you could see that there are different pages. Each subtopic will have their own pages. And within a page, you will have the course content. So here, the content can be represented by text, by images. There will also be charts within the content. If you move down, you could see that other content may have tables, and some pages even have links to additional information if the learner would like a more in-depth knowledge about a certain topic. So for example, here we're looking at the preparation of disinfectants. If you click on this link here, you will get to a document that outlines preparing disinfectants in a lot more depth. And then other pages you'll see just have mainly text, where you have content that is easy to read in the form of simple text. We also have a lot of interactive media within the modules that aim to help learners understand the information in a little bit more of an interactive way, see as like you're in a classroom. So here in 4.1, one example of a type of media content we have is a animation video. So here you can click into the page, you will see the video, and you can start playing the video, which will release content for you with a voiceover and some imagery. I will play a small clip for you from this video so that you can get a sense of what these videos may look like.
It is important to recognize the different modes of transmission of SARS-CoV-2 in order to take appropriate safety precautions when performing COVID-19 antigen RDT processes. SARS-CoV-2 is transmitted mainly through three modes. 1. Contact transmission. This is a spread of SARS-CoV-2 through direct contact by touching an infected person or a SARS-CoV-2 contaminated surface with bare hands and then touching your eyes, mouth or nose before carrying out hand hygiene.
So here you can see an example of a video that you can click into to learn more information about a topic. In this case, it was transmission of SARS-CoV-2. We also have other types of media content, and that being with interactive charts with voiceovers. So if we move over to 4.2, we have an interactive media with the COVID-19 risk assessment. So if we click into this page, you get to this video type media platform where you have a chart. And here, this chart shows the risk assessment process for COVID-19. For each of these steps here, we see a red volume button. And if you click on the volume button, you will hear a voiceover about, in this case, for number 1, it'll be about gathering information in the risk assessment process. When you click on this red button, there would be a voiceover as well as a transcription of the voiceover to demonstrate this material. I'll play a very short clip for you all.
Step 1. Gather information. Collect and consider a wide range of information in order to accurately evaluate the risks and appropriately select the risk control measures needed to reduce risks to acceptable risks in the laboratory or testing site.
Once you are done with that voiceover for that specific piece, you can click on the volume button again to exit out and move to the next one. So here you can click
Step
on it
2.
for the voice
Evaluate.
and click again to exit out of the voice. Lastly, we have different types of videos. We have more lecture style videos, as well as videos linked to important resources such as the WHO or the CDC. So some example of videos include hand hygiene and properly washing hands. So if we click into these pages, you could see that within the content, we have a video from the WHO on how to wash hands. If we move through these links at the bottom to go from page to page, you could see we get new content, and then in some of these content, we have additional videos. For example, here we're looking at PPE and the safety process. And so we have videos from the CDC on how to effectively put on PPE and how to take it off. As we're navigating through these modules, or through these subtopics within the module, you will go through each one through these bottom pieces until you get to the summary. So in the summary, we will have the key takeaways, a brief overview of what was learned in this module, and as well as additional resources in case learners would like to get a more in-depth understanding of certain topics. After going through the summary page, the next piece will be the knowledge check. So here, the knowledge check, as Silver mentioned, we will have about 3 to 6 questions at the end of a module to assess how well the individual understands the information. So clicking into the module check here, you could see that an individual has 5 attempts to pass this quiz. So if you look here, I attempted one this morning and I only received a 6 out of 10. And you would need an 80% to pass the module checks. If an individual does not pass, they will have the option to take it again, and you will have 5 attempts to take it. These questions within the knowledge check are set up with responsive feedback. So when you're taking a quiz and you get some answers wrong, you will get feedback of why they were wrong, but you will not get the correct answer. And when you try to take the attempt again, the questions as well as the answer choices within each question will be shuffled. So that helps ensure that learners are truly understanding the material rather than taking a more systematic approach on answering the questions. So I have started another attempt of the knowledge check to give you a brief overview of what it will look like. So here within the knowledge checks, there are different types of questions or question formats. We have some where there are multiple right answers and you can choose multiple correct answers. We have certain questions where there's drop-down menus and you can choose the correct word or phrase that matches the definition. And there are some where it is just one correct answer per question. And so once you complete these and you fill out all of the questions, I've already pre-filled it out to make it a bit easier, you finish the attempt. There it will ask you for confirmation and make sure that you have saved all of your answers for each of the questions before you submit. Once you submit the quiz, you will get your grade. So here I did a little bit worse. I did 4.3, but then the quiz will then show you which ones you've gotten correct and which ones you got incorrect. And so I've only corrected one, but I'm missing others. Here, I got both of these correct for question 2. So I've gotten feedback that my answer was correct, as well as additional information of why my answer is correct. Where I have done incorrect questions, sometimes you will get feedback on the question or the answer choice itself to further explain why that answer choice was incorrect to help you better on your next attempt. And same here. After the quiz is done, let's say you had passed, you would be able to then click here to move on to the next module, which will now be module 5, since we're starting in module 4. And then from there, you're able to access this new course, go through module 5 and complete that same process. Now I'll pass it back over to Silver for his comments.
Thank you so much, Anam, and thank you, Elizabeth. Before we move to the next session, may you please comment on the process for certification? How does a learner get the certificate? Just comment on that.
Yeah, I was hoping I could jump back into that, and also just to show where some of the additional directions are, just to for anyone who wants to know how to additionally navigate the path afterward. So let me jump right back into that for 1 second. So if let me share my screen. Okay. So once you are enrolled, let me go to my dashboard. You will notice I have to complete them all in order. In order to get that final certificate, what you'll need to do is complete all of the courses in order. And then once you've done that, or all of the modules, once you've completed that final module, and by completion, that means you need to go into each of the activities and you need to pass the knowledge checks for each module. Once you've successfully completed a module, the next module will unlock and you'll continue to work your way through all 11. And then finally, the final assessment will unlock. Once that is unlocked, you will be able to go in, and once you've passed the final assessment, you will be automatically awarded a certificate. It may take about 5 to 10 minutes before the system cycles and then issues the certificate, but you will get an automatic email of your certificate once you've been granted it. And just for extra clarification, let me go here for 1 second. When you go into that first course that walks through, you'll notice that 1.4 is navigating the training package. You'll learn how to navigate the modules. You'll explore how to navigate the training package itself. So this also explains that you need to go through them in order. It'll talk about how you can go to each one and figure out how far you've completed them. And you'll also be reminded to hit that continue button to continue where you left off. But you'll also find, sorry, at the bottom, if you continue on, here's directions on how to use the videos and where you'll find the controls. You'll find directions on how to use the quizzes, because there are all those additional steps to make sure you're really comfortable with what you've answered, and options to be able to go back again. And so all of these additional directions you'll find in that first module. So anytime you're confused about navigation, feel free to go into that first module, and you'll also find in that first module training support. So if you run into any issues or have any questions, if you go into module 1, you'll find a link right here where you can submit if you have any training issues, and you'll get support within 72 hours. And now I'll pass it back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for those clarifications. And colleagues, we have gone through the demonstration on how the platform is structured, how a learner navigates the different components of the platform. And we feel this is very, very useful, because this learner is alone. This learner doesn't have somebody whom he or she is talking to. So these resources become very, very handy. And these skills of you being able to use the platform are very useful. We have also gone through the different interactive media I used. So at this point, please allow us to acknowledge a couple of colleagues who have been very, very instrumental in ensuring that we have these materials ready and available to the member states. We have colleagues from ASLM who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes. We have colleagues from CHAI who have been very, very resourceful. We have colleagues from Last Mile Health. Elizabeth is here, you've seen her, and Annam from CHAI. And like the CEO mentioned earlier, we appreciate and thank the colleagues from Africa CDC for the stewardship and the support that they provided throughout the development of these resources. They provided strategic guidance, clarifications, and many areas. So colleagues, we appreciate your support. We also acknowledge the different partners who made this possible. And we would like to appreciate their support that has come in different ways. And we look forward that these resources will do a very, very excellent job in ensuring that we have competent personnel passing on the services to our communities. So at this point, colleagues, we would like to now open the floor for clarifications, for questions. And Elizabeth and Annam, please be ready to take some of the questions, because colleagues have asked. And thank you so much, Elizabeth. We have seen you have responded to some of the questions. But for purposes of colleagues who have not had an opportunity to check in the chat box, maybe we'll re-echo some of them. So we have colleagues who have asked. We have a colleague who is asking, there's a colleague, Munafu, we have, and some other colleagues who are asking, how do we access these materials? How do we log in as students? So Elizabeth, I would like to request that you respond to that. How does one log in to become a student to do this course? Thank you.
Sure. For that, let me just really quickly share my screen again. Oops, shared the wrong one. Just kidding. I'm in more than one place. I want this one. Okay, now what you'll do is if you go to that link I had dropped into the chat earlier, which is academy.aslm.org, you'll land here. In order to do anything, what you're going to need to do is log in or register. And even if you scroll down to the bottom to click the button, it will still ask you to log in or register. So if you click on login, you'll get the login right here. And for those of you who are new to the platform, what you'll do when you get to this page is to scroll down to create a new account. Once you do this, it will ask you to fill out this information, and then you'll click on create a new account. Once that happens, you will automatically get an email that you will need, so whichever email address you put here, that's what's going to link to your account. So once you register, it will send a verification email to that account. When you click on that verification email, it will bring you back to the platform and you will then be able to log in. So I'm going to log back in again. And then once logged in, you will land here, and then you can click on this button to launch. Now, if you decided you wanted to go straight on down here and you clicked on this button and it said you must register for the platform, and you go through that registration process, once you go into that email that you send that you have to verify that you do in fact want an account, once you click the link in that email, it will automatically open up the course itself, and you'll be brought straight into this introductory training course. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And for colleagues who possibly could have missed, the link, hope you're able to see it here. That's the link that Elizabeth is talking about. If you just like to go there straight, just use the link and you'll be able to reach the resources. So we respond to additional comments or questions that are coming in from colleagues. And one of the comments that has come in, and this goes to Anam, somebody from, if I could get the name clearly, this is his name. Yes, we have a colleague who is asking, does the platform allow option for retaking a module in case one fails? And we would request Anam to respond to that. If one doesn't pass, does it allow one to retake the course? Thank you.
Yes, so once you have completed all of the activities and get to the knowledge check, you will have 5 attempts to pass the knowledge check to be able to pass the specific module. If by any means you have exceeded the number of attempts to pass the knowledge check, then you will need to contact IT to be able to get that reinstated. So we have allowed for about 5 attempts. There's only a few questions, and with those, the questions have feedback on your answers. So hopefully it should not take more than five attempts to pass the specific module.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Sorry, Anam. Elizabeth, one more comment from the colleagues. There are 2. One is, how long does it take to complete this course? That one, you'll be able to respond to everyone. I know we have responded in the chat, but please, for purpose of practice to everyone, how long does it take to complete this course? Another question comes in from Beatrice, who is asking, not Beatrice, somebody else, who is saying, what's the cost implication? Elizabeth, how much does one have to pay to go through this course? Thank you.
The course is free. So you're able to freely go in, click the enroll button, register for the platform, and go through all of the training and receive a certificate if you take the training path. If you take the refresher track, there is no certificate. There are no assessments or knowledge checks. It's just all of the content readily available if you just want to take a look. And also, the course should take approximately 16 hours to get through, but you have 3 months to do it. So you don't have to, spend 2 days like glued to your screen. We all have busy lives, and if that's not possible, that's okay. One of the benefits of it being on this platform is that you can go at your own pace. Just know you have 3 months to complete the 16 hours worth of content. So if you want to chip away at a module or 2 a week, you'll have plenty of time to be able to get through the entire package.
There is an interesting question here from Ewan Alex Ojaku, and he's asking, for how long is the validity of the certificate when one gets it? I don't know who needs to take this one, maybe Anam. or Elizabeth, this one is to any one of you. Who goes first? For how long is this certificate valid? Thank you.
So I think the validity of the certificate, I believe, is dependent country to country on who is accepting the certificate. And so if you are presenting to certificate to trainers or other leaders within your country who are then certifying your ability to start administering these antigen tests, they will have other requirements about when you would need refresher training, et cetera, to make sure you have these competencies.
Thank you so much, Anam. And colleagues, we need to remember that data and information regarding COVID-19 testing and the response, new data evolves and comes every day. So one of the spaces that we have in our plan is that as more information comes available, we keep updating these training materials. In that case, it means if there are major changes that we realize, we will definitely change. And that explains why we have an option for refresher trainings. So that will be taken care of. And what we need to note that part of the training, especially the practical part, we encourage colleagues to pay attention to the requirements of the different countries, because different countries have different testing strategies in their respective countries. So please remember to actually ensure that you also respond to those ones in your countries. Elizabeth, this is again to you. We have a colleague who is asking, may you please show us a copy of the certificate, how the certificate looks like. This is Jaya Diaz. Can we see the sample of the certificate? So I'll give you maybe a few seconds to actually get the certificate, but in the meantime, as you get it, let's ask Anam to respond to some other comment that has come in from the colleagues. And the question is, in how many languages are these training materials translated to? Is it only in English or there are other languages? Anam, would you like to respond to that?
Sure. So right now the course is only available in English. We do have downloadable training content from the one that was launched in November available in other languages, but for the moment, the content on the digital platform is only available in English.
Yeah, but also we have on the ASLM website, on the academy page, when you look at it carefully, there is a function where if you click on it, it gives you an option to translate the material, to give you the information in another language. So that's another option that is available. When you visit the page, you just look for that icon and you'll be able to get the materials in French. And like Anam has clarified, the other materials that we had, the downloadable ones, we actually available in 3 languages, that is English, French, and Portuguese. And we have all plans to ensure that all those languages are available in these materials. Materials are available in those different languages. So Elizabeth, are you ready now to share a sample of the certificate? If you are ready, good. So colleagues, Elizabeth is willing to share for you a copy of the certificate. Go ahead, please.
So here is what it looks like. Here is the certificate. So once you complete that final assessment, you'll be able to go in and click on it again. So if you don't see it in your email, you can go into that final assessment module, and there you will also have an additional link so that you can open it up again. But once you've successfully completed the entire training package, this is the certificate that will be automatically emailed to you.
Thank you. And maybe, may you please explain how unique these certificates will be identified, the barcode, please explain that, such that people can know that you cannot share that certificate. Each learner will have a unique identifier via the barcode. Please explain that and show it such that people are able to know that this is going to be very authentic. Thank you.
Sure. So let me go back to it and I can show you. So you'll notice right here, you've got this lovely little QR code. This is specific for each person, this certificate is tied to you specifically. So if you were trying to make a copy, anyone would be able to skew the QR code and it would actually pop up with the official person's name. So if someone were to make a copy of this and change out the name, they would have to somehow change the QR code, which is not very easy to do. So it is this lovely QR code here that is tagged specifically to the person's name. So whoever completes it, these two are synced together to, again, further authenticate and personalize these certificates.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We have another question coming from a colleague in Tanzania by the names of Joachim Chacha. Joachim Chacha is asking, is there a score point for one move from one module to the next? Is there like a pass mark? Maybe, and I'm able to respond to that. Before you go to the next module, is there a threshold you need to score before? Thank you.
Yes, so to move from one module to the next, there are two components. One, you have to complete all activities within the module, which means visiting and reading and interacting with all of the different pages and content within a module. And then for the knowledge check, you have to pass with an 80% mark to be able to move on to the next module.
Okay, so that's very well explained. And colleagues, we have just a few minutes to the top of the hour. Please keep your questions and clarifications coming in. And as we come to the end of this session, we have another interesting one coming in from Ewan Nuagaba Obed. Nuagaba Obed is asking, and this question goes to Elizabeth. He says, I'm Nuagaba, it's called Nuagira Obed from Uganda, Mbarara. How long does it take for retakers? If somebody is to retake the course, how long does it take? I don't know whether this question is different from the one you had answered earlier, but he's asking for the retakers.
So if you're coming in for the refresher training package, I would estimate that it's probably maybe 6 hours less if you were to do the full training, because there are, as we mentioned before, there's no knowledge assessment. So the time to complete each knowledge assessment is not there. And there's one per module. And then on top of that, there is no final assessment either. So I would guess that it would still probably take, because there is a wealth of content there. I would estimate that if you were to work through and still access all of the content, you're probably looking at around 10 to 12 hours worth of content. But again, with the refresher training, you will have access to all of the modules all at once. You won't have to take them in a particular order, and you can just jump to whichever module is most important to you at that time. So if you wanted to quick double check on a particular process, you can then jump in, or maybe it's a quality assurance piece that you just wanted a quick reference, you can actually go to that module and dig into that rather than having to go in order. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, which is why we're not really tying time to the refresher training.
Thank you so much. We have an interesting one coming in from Ewan Grace Kokunda from Mbarara in Uganda. She's asking, when is the course starting? She joined late. She doesn't know when the course is starting. She would like to join. Then there's a question from Leo in Tanzania. He's asking, so if somebody retakes and doesn't finish the course within the 95 days, what happens? Anam, you could respond to that, please.
Sure. So the first question was, when will the course be available? It is already available. So you should be able to log into the ASLM Academy site and register for the course, and you should have access as soon as you would like to. And then for the second question, if you have gone above the 90 days to be able to take the course, but you still wanted to take the course, as Liz had mentioned in the first module, there is an email address that you can go to if you have any questions or have any additional clarifications that you need about accessing the course. So if that happens, you can send an email to the ASLM Academy and they can work with you to reinstate your registration to the program.
So thank you so much, Anam. And colleagues, we only have 5 minutes to the top of the hour. We respect your time and we would like to use the next 5 hours to finish and conclude our session. Please keep the questions coming. We can always be able to respond to them. And we'll give the opportunity to Elizabeth, one parting shot to the learners and participants who are on this call in 30 seconds. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I totally missed the question I'm supposed to be answering.
Oh, sorry. We're saying that we have just 5 minutes at the end of the session and you will respect people's time. We would like to give you an opportunity for 30 seconds for a parting shot to the colleagues. Yes.
So I just wanted to say that this has been a really fun project and it's been really exciting and I've been really happy to participate in it. Please know that you will have access to support. So this isn't the only time you'll ever have a chance to ask questions. And if you need support, if you go into module 1, there is a link that will, in fact, it says, if you go into module 1, there's one that says training support. If you click on that tab, there is a link that you can click on and you will be able to go in and request support. So there will always be support at hand, I do promise.
Thank you. Anam, parting shot to the participants and all the colleagues who have been joining this session. Thank you.
Thank you. No, I just want to give a thank you to everyone involved in creating the course. I think it is a good resource for individuals who need to be trained on the antigen rapid diagnostic tests. We are still in the midst of a pandemic, and so the more individuals who are able to learn and administer these tests, the more under control we can get this pandemic. So we hope that this is a valuable resource to everyone. And one other note that I wanted to make sure is that this course is theory only, so that for specific manufacturer tests and such, you would still need to do a practical component. And I just want to emphasize that point, that this course is meant to show the theory of what to do for antigen testing, what are the pre-steps, what are some steps in the laboratory for quality assurance, data management, etc. But for the specific tests themselves, you would need to get practical training based on the manufacturer specific tests that you are using.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anam. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And in Ndlovu, we know you're still on the call, you're busy, but please, a parting shot as the Chief Executive Officer of ASLM to the participants, please. We have 60 seconds. Thank you. Ndlovu?
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to start by thanking everyone, our partners, Africa CDC. I want to thank CHAI. I want to thank Last Mile Health, Affinet, and AMREF for all the great work in putting this together. What I can only say is that ASLM's really heart is about serving the continent, and this is one of the ways we are doing it, bringing such trainings closer to all the health service providers out there, as you are doing a great job in fighting against this COVID. So my message to you is that these materials are yours and they've been created for you. So we look up to the ministries of health to be taking up some of these courses. And if you need any guidance, please do not hesitate to reach out to ASLM and the team, and we'll be excited to really provide you all the support. So I would like to thank everyone who has been here today, all the representatives from many countries, the ministries of health, and all the partners. We really value your partnerships and your presence in this platform. So thanks to everybody. Over to you, Silva.
Thank you so much, Ndlovu. Colleagues, time is well spent. We are on top of the hour. Thank you everyone for making time for this special COVID session, number 47. We thank our partners. We thank each one of you. And until we meet again in the next session, please remember to stay safe as we offer services to our communities to save lives as we fight this pandemic. I remain Mashate Silva, who has been your moderator and co-presenter for this session. Looking forward, please check again in your inboxes for the next special session, number 48. Thank you so much and bye-bye for now. Thank you.